Katie Taylor remains undisputed champion of the world after defeating the very tough Miriam Gutierrez of Spain over 10 rounds via unanimous points decision. I don't even really want to touch on the fight itself too much. I will just say she was blown out of the water very, very quickly, Gutierrez. Taylor set about her, so far out of her depth, bless her. She gave it a tremendous effort, but it was very hard to watch. It's not nice watching a human being getting beaten up and struggling that bad, let alone a female. I don't enjoy watching a male fighter being outclassed, and being battered around. This lady gave it everything. At the age of 37, she deserves credit. It does tell you about the staggering lack of depth in the female game, but that does happen in the male game as well. We see very dubious mandatory contenders, so you can't really dig out the promoters here. You can only look at the organisations. But my anger turns more at what they're robbing and selling these female boxers short. They're selling women's boxing short. They're giving it the hard sell, and then the organisations are not doing anything to help it. Now, for me, having been someone that works with females as a personal trainer, having been around boxing all my life and watching the sport, loving the sport, and being in and around it, I cannot accept that female boxers are being sent out at world title level, professional level, and having 2-minute rounds. And the reason I say that, quite simply, training clients in the gym, if you look at a male and a female in the gym, women recover quicker than men, especially like things like weightlifting, anything with power, weight training. They recover quickly because females obviously lift a lighter load to a certain extent, but also they recover quickly because they're built for endurance. They're built for endurance. So for me, why on earth women are being sold short? These are the bearers of children. Women can go through extraordinary long times giving birth. So why on earth are they being given 2-minute rounds and being made to fight like amateurs when the amateurs are fighting like the pros? It makes no sense. From any standpoint, it doesn't. 3-minute round. If you're not keen on 12 threes, fine. Go 10 threes for the championship fight. Okay, you don't want to do that, then go 5 threes. Yes, it's 5 minutes shorter than the 10 twos, but because it's 3-minute rounds, it will give the females enough time to hold their feet. They're struggling to get knockouts, and it doesn't make the sport look good because they're rushing their work. They can't sit down on their punches because they're rushing everything. If you give them 3-minute rounds, they'll be able to hold their feet that little bit longer and get their shots in. As Ellie Courtenay said, I felt like I was rushing my work. I felt like an amateur. And that's after one pro fight. She said the amateurs, you can hold your feet a little bit more. That's staggering. They need to sort that out because it's not helping the sport. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to have these women that are getting access to the male trainers, the boxing coaches that train the men, the strength and conditioning training, the weights, the testing, everything, and then not give them the opportunity to fight over 3 minutes. You're selling them short. I'm not expecting them to have 12 threes, and to be honest, I wouldn't want to see 12 threes at this moment in time, but give them 10 threes. Give them 5 threes, but give them 3-minute rounds. It's as simple as that. It's not right. It's not right. And, they're making a very big effort at hard selling the sport. But until you get that sorted, it's going to be difficult because there's a lack of depth at this moment in time, let alone 2-minute rounds where no sooner as the fight starts, it's over. It's not helping it. On a separate note, Josh Taylor tweeted this evening, "Don't think I'm hating on Katie Taylor. I just think she's been very, very fortunate her last few fights and think that she is being protected from Chantelle Cameron." A few tears from Twitter fans of Katie Taylor this evening, fans on Twitter, crying their little eyes out. I don't know why. There's nothing bad in that. I don't know if it's true, personally, I'm unsure, but what I do know is that British boxing and females boxing on the whole needs the big fights. It needs something like this. It does need a big fight. Now, Taylor obviously being Irish, but operating here, she's a star. You know, whether she's this superstar that Sky is telling us, I don't know. I don't see it as that, but she's, you know, she's a fantastic ambassador for the sport. Seems like a lovely woman. It's nice to see a God-fearing woman who really takes her faith seriously, and you know, she's an athlete. Her against Cameron would be a big fight. You know, Cameron's just won the belt. Maybe get her a few title defenses, build that one up, let it marinate, as they say. But women's boxing does need that. You know, especially with Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall on the horizon. Could it be here because Peter Fury can't make it into America? Or will she have to go to the States with her amateur coach? Who knows? But it does need those big fights. But it definitely needs longer duration of rounds as well. Anyways, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And remember, skills pay the bills in the sport of boxing.